Joe Kaczynski, and welcome to Game Changers. Over the next half hour, we're going to speak with student athletes and experts here at the University of Tennessee, and we're going to talk about some of the difficulties of transitioning into and out of college sports. We'll speak with former Vols quarterback Tony Robinson, but first, we're going to talk to a newer face to Rocky Top, incoming freshman Olivia Knox, one of the newest additions to the Vols soccer team.
When I was little, one of my earliest memories was I would always go to my brother's games and watch him play because he's 4 years older than I am. So I would go to his games and watch him play, and I would always run on the field with him.
College athletics can bring people from different parts of the world to a new city to make a new start. Olivia has made the move from her home in Colorado to come play soccer at Tennessee. Before joining the Vols, she was a two-sport athlete playing soccer and running track for Regis Jesuit High School. While Olivia looks forward to the competition ahead of her, like so many new to school, she misses the family she's left behind.
It's hard not having my mom around too because my dad travels a lot, so I'm kind of used to him being gone more than my mom. My mom is my biggest cheerleader.
After excelling on the field for her club team, she had her pick of schools between Tennessee, Denver, Oklahoma, and Jacksonville. In her first visit to Tennessee, Olivia felt a spiritual connection to her new team that would help her make her decision.
When I first came to Tennessee, I knew that I was going to love it here because we went out into the hallway and we did our prayer out in the hallway, and the captain, Caroline Brown from last year, she said the prayer and said verses and stuff, and I'm a really religious person, so it just really got me going, and I just knew that I was it was a good fit and it was a good place.
And Tennessee takes the lead back 2-1.
Caroline Brown, who led that prayer, graduated in spring of 2014. She knows what Olivia is going through and remembers the difficulties she faced being a new girl on the team.
Coming in as a freshman is you don't really know what you're coming into, really. I was just hoping to maybe get a few minutes on the field, just that kind of thing, knowing that I have so much to learn. And I think looking back to that point, I did learn so much. The player that I am now and the player that I was when I came is just so drastically different because of the level and the level of players that have pushed me to become the player that I am.
Olivia hopes to have some of the same success on the field that Caroline had. She currently holds the record for most game-winning goals scored by a Vol. Caroline is continuing her game overseas, playing for ASPTT Albi FC in France's Premier Soccer League. No student athlete makes it to joining a Division I school without hard work and sacrifice. Most freshmen will arrive on UT's campus in time for the start of the fall semester, but many athletes like Olivia will arrive early in the summer to get a head start in their academics and begin acclimating to a schedule full of classes, study hours, practices, and training sessions. It's a lot to ask of an 18-year-old to give up one of their last summers off, but Olivia says she's lucky to have the opportunities, and she's always been committed to her sport and school.
It's always been like that. I've missed homecoming dances, I've missed proms, I've missed sleepovers, hanging out and stuff, but it's sacrifice for something that I love, so I think that it's worth it.
Responsible and focused, Olivia still can't help but miss some of the comforts of home.
The hardest part is not having my mom do my laundry and cook for me and stuff like that, just take care of me, but we all have to grow up sometime.
Olivia will be growing up surrounded by a new family made up of teammates, teachers, and coaches. She will use an axiom she learned from UT's soccer team to help keep her motivated.
One of our sayings is compete every play, so no matter what, we got to compete everything.
While the games change from sport to sport, the transitional challenges are all too similar. Quarterback Josh Dobbs, who started 4 games for the Vols in his freshman year, says he remembers the switch from high school to college happening in just a few short days.
It just occurred extremely fast. I graduated on a Thursday and then came to college the next Monday, so it was all a whirlwind.
It's a culture shock. It's just like saying all of a sudden you're moving to a foreign country, almost, and you have all these people telling you what to do all the time. Plus you need to win on Saturday, or you need to play back, So, it's all on you all of a sudden really fast.
Dr. Robin Harden is an associate professor at the University of Tennessee teaching in the areas of sports communication and intercollegiate athletics. Dr. Harden has published numerous academic articles focusing on college athletics, including playbook versus textbook, academic transitioning of NCAA FBS Division I football student athletes. Athletes like Megan Hatcher from the UT volleyball team agree that it's a lot to take on at once.
When you're a freshman coming out of high school, that transition's kind of hard because you're trying to understand the balance homework and the workouts and the craziness of it all.
It was definitely difficult at first. The thing that really was a big thing for me was the speed of the game. Everybody just running, 2.6, 2.7s down the baseline. For me, defensively, that was a big change.
Madison Shipman may have started her collegiate softball career as an intimidated freshman, but she finished as a star herself with 207 RBIs and a .347 career batting average. For the men on the diamond at UT, it isn't uncommon for a player to transfer from junior college to a big school like UT. In the 2014 season, Tennessee had about 10 transfers from community college. Johnny Youngblood is one of them. Being a transfer student can make it difficult to mesh with your fellow classmen who may have already spent a couple years together. Johnny says it takes mental toughness to rise above all challenges and find success.
My freshman year, I was a little starstruck going out and seeing all these guys that were from Mississippi or the southern states, and they were all state, and I was like, wow, these guys can really play. But I feel like if you have the right mentality, right mindset, that's when you flourish. You'll elevate your game that much more.
Dr. Harden says the transition student athletes face when joining a big school takes place in 3 parts. The first is a social and cultural change.
You stand out. You're dressed in orange head to toe. Everybody knows it. So you stand out a little bit. So there's a little added pressure from that perspective as well. And especially culturally, and then all of a sudden you're trying to mesh with a lot of other people that are different from you. If you're from Chicago, Illinois, and all of a sudden you go to Lincoln, Nebraska to play football, guess what? Big change.
The second adjustment student athletes have to make is to the elevated level of competition in their sport. While it's an accomplishment itself to be part of a Division I team, being surrounded by other top-tier athletes can make it hard to stand out and easy to be overlooked.
Athletically, it's a big switch from all of a sudden you're not the best on your team anymore, because everybody is as good as you or better. So there's some psychological adjustment that goes on there to realize that, hey, everybody's as fast as me and they're as strong as me, and most people are even faster or stronger because they've had 2 or 3 years of elite performance training.
It's definitely different. It's hard coming because I was always top 5, top 3 on my club team. It's hard going from that than coming here and kind of starting as the underdog.
All students at UT will have to learn how to adjust to college-level courses, but for student athletes, that can be especially difficult when schedules become packed and chaotic, and a new sort of academic freedom can bring its own challenges.
It's a big change academically because faculty members don't care. Not that they don't care, but there is not like that mom and dad over top of you, or somebody, urging you to go to class and then making sure you're doing your work, making sure you're paying attention. So I think because those people are used to going to school at 8:30, getting out at 3:30, and going to practice. Then now all of a sudden, that's changed.
One of my hardest classes is probably sociology because the professor just goes up to the front of the room and we have 150 kids in our class, and he just goes up to the front and all he does is lecture, and I don't really know what to take notes on, and I can't take notes fast enough. So that's definitely different from what it was in high school.
The classes can be daunting and the competition fierce, but when she made her debut in Milwaukee, Olivia felt the rush that she says makes it all worthwhile.
It's exhilarating. When the coach tells you to go warm up, it's just the best feeling ever because you get you get your shot.
Coming up next, we'll sit down with UT alumni Rob Murphy and Tony Robinson. They'll tell us how life goes on even when the game is over. Stick around.